Hey there, so this is my overview of fibromyalgia, and then also I'm going to talk about my experience of it, what I think of fibromyalgia, and kind of my opinion of what it really is, because I don't know if I do agree to some extent with what is written here on the NHS website, and I'll link it below. But someone who's gone through it and had chronic pain in general, I think I can give an interesting insight and some feedback. Anyway, so the overview for fibromyalgia. Let's start with the symptoms. So the symptoms are it's basically an increased sensitivity to pain. You're going to be in more pain. But there's other symptoms here, such as even IBS, headaches, problems with brain fog, difficulty sleeping or staying asleep, muscle stiffness, feelings of frustration, worry, or low mood. So that's obviously like a mental component to this. Yeah, those are the symptoms. You're going to be really sensitized, like normal things that might not hurt or feel painful to most people might really feel painful to you or the person suffering from fibromyalgia. So I guess like a very increased sensitivity, but it feels very real. Um, I guess from my experience, and then also people have spoken about it. So I do understand, I do empathize or sympathize. So how's it treated? Now there's three treatments here. I think two are really good. And I think I've tried them firsthand and they work really well. I've tried all of them, but the first two are really good. And the first bullet point is life changes such as exercise programs and relaxation techniques. So I mean I have trouble relaxing, but I think the exercise programs are a great idea because in my opinion you're gonna not only get your body stronger and more able to do these tasks, as long as you know you like shouldn't be pushing your body to do something crazy, or if theoretically, if I were to advise someone or if I were to treat myself, I think exercise is a great idea because you're going to desensitize yourself to these things that you're doing, not only mentally, physically, but you're going to get stronger too. So, talking therapies such as CBT, this is number two. CBT and ACT, which is acceptance and commitment therapy. I don't know about ACT, I haven't done ACT, but I have done a lot of CBT. And that's kind of reframing components in your mind, reframing ideas. And I think that could be really useful instead of, I don't want to undermine people with it, but so instead of sitting around and saying, I'm doomed, it's over, there's nothing I can do about it, because that's kind of what the GP said to me, and it wasn't very useful being diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and no one really helped me. Going through the NHS with chronic pain, like it was a lot of people were very useless. Like no one actually helped me. It was a private physio that eventually helped me, but it's not a useful diagnosis. And I think that could make you go into more of a spiral and say, well, I'm doomed. I have this label. There's no fixing me. And I don't think this should even be necessarily a fixed condition because I do really believe you can fix it. And I'll talk about that afterwards. But yeah, CBT, that's a great way to look at it more positively. And then the third is antidepressants. That's obviously to help your mood. I mean, that could help in the short run, but I don't think just taking a drug will um, is a good long-term solution just because and I'm not advising anyone to do this. It's just my own opinion for legal reasons, etc. But yeah, I don't think it's not going to change anything unless for some reason the antidepressants, get you going out and doing more, and then you feel like you don't need them. Then that's great. But yeah. Anyway, that's how it's treated. So what the cause is, they basically say it's genes, like your genes or your nervous system processes pain in a weird way, and then also emotional, physical stress or trauma, which I think is very true and I think was applicable to me. And I think that's why I became sensitized. I had a physical back pain trauma and then also a traumatic childhood. And, once I got running and working out again, it really desensitized me to the pain. So I think that's probably how it works. And then who's affected? So normally people between 25 and 55, that's when they develop it. They say estimates 1 in 20 people may be affected by fibromyalgia to some degree. It doesn't really sound like they know. Like from that statement, I mean, some degree is so could vary so much. So maybe not completely clear, but let's say 1 in 20, that's 5% of people to some degree. I think that is probably fair. Support groups, they have Fibromyalgia Action UK. Now they also have UK Fibromyalgia. I just saw that. So an overview, and now I know I've put my opinion in there, and I don't want to offend anyone with fibromyalgia, but this is my experience and my opinion. And I was really bad. I was bedridden, so sensitized. Like I would go on a walk, and my knees would be so painful. It'd feel like the bones are grinding, and I was like in my 20s. So, and some people might have like autoimmune disorders. There's some people who might, be in pain forever unless I don't know. I think there's normally a reason, but I don't want to take away from people who are genuinely suffering. But for me, the way I think it develops is that you either have, and this is my own theory, you either have a predisposition to not want to work out, and you don't work out enough, and your body becomes weaker, more sensitized because of that, or you have a traumatic event, emotionally or physically. The emotional part will affect your like brain chemistry and then stop you from working out, and the physical component can also affect your brain chemistry from the fear, and then make you not want to work out. So I think what happened with me, and probably happens with fibromyalgia, is you have a experience or something that makes you not want to work out, and then you become quite inactive, and then you're going to become more sensitized to pain. It happened to me. You're not going to want to do stuff. And for me, even for 7 years looking for a cure with like 40 specialists for my chronic pain issue, I didn't have a lot of success. And one person, they got me to do a lot of strengthening stuff, which is fine, but it didn't really fix it. What helped for me was running, and it cured my general pain. And now, when I run, or if I'm feeling overly neurotic and sensitive, like I run and like my general pain goes away. I feel less sensitive to stuff physically and mentally. I think it can be really useful. I know like the idea of running can sound quite dangerous to people, and I don't want to urge anyone to do anything in case it goes wrong, but that was just my experience. And like, a couple years, maybe 2, 3 years after finding this stuff, it's really helped me. I'm very physical now. I can play tennis. I can do all kinds of stuff, and not really have too many repercussions. I still can't or don't really lift weights, but that's fine. I'm happy with that. I do plenty of other stuff, and yes, I think you can cure it, and I think you can fix it, and I think like their treatments there, I agree with CBT, so reframing that mentality, and also working out as well, and also like are there other reasons? Are you depressed, or is the person mentally affected by something? Because I know when I was in a traumatic house and in a bad a bad home situation, that my pain became worse. And so I think there's a whole slew of things. I completely agree with how to treat it. Like I think they've actually done quite well considering my general experience with chronic pain, and how poorly it was treated. But yeah, so I'll put the link below. That's kind of my experience. I apologize if I've offended anyone, because I know there's going to be some people who say, well, you don't know, I've had all this pain and I've tried everything. But I mean, I would just say like, has that person actually tried everything for several months? And if someone really has done it for like years or months and they're not better, then I apologize. But I don't know, I think there's more to it than meets the eye. I think there's definitely more to this condition, and as someone who has been diagnosed with it, I think I do have a good experience, but I don't know if it should be labeled like this. Anyway, kind of rambled a bit. That's my experience, what happened with me, and also the official explanation of what it is, symptoms, etc., treatments. I'll put the link below. I hope it helped. And again, sorry if I upset anyone with fibromyalgia. It's just kind of my own opinion and experience. And best of luck if you are dealing with it.